They keep saying the economy is strong, right? They highlight job numbers and stock market highs like it's all sunshine and rainbows. But is everything really fine? But for millions of Americans, there's a different reality. A quiet panic is setting in. It's the feeling of a wallet that's constantly empty, a savings account that's been drained, and a credit card balance that only ever goes up. This isn't a story about bad spending habits or missing your budget. This is the story of the great American wallet drain. And it's happening right now in households just like yours all across the country. Let's talk about the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. The financial cushion that families once relied on is evaporating. The personal saving rate was just 4.7% in September 2025, which is a significant drop from the historical average of over 8%. This is a clear signal that people have less and less to put away. In fact, a 2024 Federal Reserve survey found that only 55% of adults have enough emergency savings to cover 3 months of expenses, leaving a huge portion of the country vulnerable to a single unexpected event. With savings depleted, where are people turning? To debt. As of the third quarter of 2025, total household debt in America has surged to a record-breaking $18.59 trillion. That's not just mortgages. Credit card debt alone has hit an all-time high of $1.23 trillion. Think about that. Since early 2021, total credit card balances have risen by over 60%. This isn't just a few people overspending on luxuries. This is a nationwide trend of using credit to survive. Millions are now carrying balances from month to month, with some reports finding that nearly half of all cardholders are doing so. For many, credit cards have become the only way to afford everyday necessities. This isn't a safety net. It's a tightrope, and it's fraying fast. This crisis is fueled by skyrocketing costs for everything we really need. Basic living costs are skyrocketing everywhere. Let's start with housing. A recent survey showed that over half of American renters find renting too expensive, and many are considered cost-burdened, meaning they spend over 30% of their income just on housing. For homeowners, the dream of building equity is being crushed by high prices and interest rates. Then there's the trip to the grocery store. Food prices keep going up, rising 2.6% year over year as of November 2025. That might not sound like a huge number on its own, but it adds up week after week, carving away at your paycheck. Energy costs have jumped 4.2% in the past year, adding stress to daily expenses. And what happens when someone gets sick? It's a terrifying question for a growing number of families. In the past year, reports indicate that nearly 27% of American adults had trouble paying for medical care. Just one surprise bill can wipe out savings and send a family into debt. This isn't just about money. It's a health crisis where folks have to pick between staying healthy and making ends meet. If this sounds like your life running faster just to stay in the same spot, you totally get what's going on. This isn't just your story. It's the story of millions. We're going to break down exactly why this is happening and who might be benefiting from it. If you want to understand the forces shaping your financial future, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So, why does it feel like you're falling behind, even when you're doing everything right? The answer isn't just in your personal budget. It's in the system itself. 3 big things are happening: hidden inflation, policies that hurt everyday folks, and a never-ending debt cycle. Inflation rate dropped to 2.7% in November. Officials point to this as a sign that things are getting better. But that number hides a more complicated truth. While the overall rate has moderated, the prices for essentials like food and energy have remained stubbornly high. It's also worth noting the debate around greedflation, a term some economists use to describe corporations that have posted record profits by raising prices far beyond their own increased costs, passing the burden directly to you. Second, there are the policy failures. The Federal Reserve's primary weapon against inflation has been to raise interest rates. The goal was to cool down the economy, but the side effect has been to put a chokehold on American families. For anyone with a credit card, a car loan, or a variable rate mortgage, these rate hikes have been devastating. The average APR on credit cards carrying a balance has soared to around 22.8%. So, while the government is trying to solve a macroeconomic problem, it's making your personal debt more expensive and harder to pay off. This leads directly to the third force, the debt cycle by design. High-interest credit is an incredibly profitable business. If you're just making the minimum payment on a balance with a 22% or 23% APR, you'll pay way more in interest than you borrowed. This isn't an accident. It's the business model. The system profits off struggling people, keeping them stuck in endless payment cycles. It's money moving from hardworking families to big banks. For years, the dominant narrative has been one of personal responsibility. You heard it everywhere. Cut back on lattes, make a budget, get a side hustle. If you were struggling, it was framed as a personal failing. But the data tells a different story. The explosion in credit card debt isn't because millions of people suddenly decided to become irresponsible. It's because their wages haven't kept up with the soaring cost of essentials. People aren't racking up debt to live in luxury. They're using it to pay for car repairs, medical bills, and groceries. Many Americans would need to borrow money or sell stuff for a surprise $400 expense. This isn't a sign of poor character. It's a sign of profound financial distress. When you have to pick between feeding your family or paying bills, you choose food. This isn't a crisis of personal choice. It's a crisis of affordability. The feeling of financial strain has become the new normal for a huge portion of the country, and it's time we stop blaming the victims of a system that is failing them. The great American wallet drain is here. It's not a distant threat. It's the harsh reality for millions feeling trapped. Savings are dwindling, debt is piling up, and the basic pillars of a secure life are moving further out of reach. This isn't a typical recession. It's an affordability crisis fueled by high costs and debt. The rules of the game have been changed, and the American people are the ones paying the price. The question now is, what comes next? When the credit cards are finally maxed out and the savings are gone, where do people turn? That is the question that should keep all of us up at night. It's important that we talk about this openly, because you are not alone in this struggle. What's been your biggest money struggle this year? Drop your story in the comments. If this video resonated with you, share it with a friend. Thanks.